Welcome back, everybody. Let's get to some voter turnout numbers as you wake up this morning. They're closing the gap a little bit on those 2020 numbers, but we're still seeing quite the difference between this year and in 2020. Percent return this morning, 74% of eligible voters in Washington state turned in a ballot for this election. Let's do a quick comparison of what that looked like compared to 2020. Look at that. At this point in the race, 2 days after the election, 83% of voters had turned in a ballot. We've closed the gap quite a bit. There's only, a 9% difference between this year and the last election, but still quite the significant difference. And by this time, anyone who has voted en masse likely has done so. There's a lot of ballots still left to be counted, but let's also check the national level this morning. Voter turnout also a major part of the story. President-elect Trump, now 72.6 million votes compared to Kamala Harris, who's just a shade under 68 million. This is about 15% lower in terms of voter turnout than we saw in the 2020 election. A lot of votes left to be counted in states like Nevada and Arizona, but you're not going to make up, 15 million votes, Mimi, which is the difference this year. So a lot of folks just deciding this year not to vote. Trump made major gains in several demographics in key states. You have a closer look at that here this morning.
Yeah, Jake, as you mentioned, we're still waiting for races to be called in Nevada and Arizona, but Trump already has reached the 270 electoral votes he needs to win. Let's take a closer look at where Trump made those gains from the 2020 election as we flip the graphic here. NBC looked at exit polls in several key states across the nation. Let's take a look at gender. These are some really interesting numbers. Data shows that Trump made some slight gains with both men and women from 2020 to 2024, increasing about 1 to 2% in both of those categories. Looking closer at the race demographics, support for Trump increased among Hispanic and Latino voters, as you can see the numbers right here, from 32% in 2020 to 45% of Hispanic and Latino voters voting for him in 2024. He also made gains with Asian voters here this year. Let's take a look at the breakdown of gender by race. Trump's largest voter gains were among Hispanic and Latino men. As we take a look right down here, went up from 36 to 54%. Trump did not make any gains with black voters. However, black women overwhelmingly voted for Biden in 2020 and also for Harris this year. And lastly, let's take a look at the age groups. Look at this. The data shows that more young people right here, 18 to 29, voted for Trump than they did for Harris. Biden got 60% of that age group back in 2020.